Today's February 21st, 2017, a long 3-day Not My President's Day weekend. John, I went to a protest yesterday.
Oh, that had to be fun.
Yeah.
So you were the only one there not being paid to be there, huh?
I don't even know if they get paid. It's getting monotonous. Like one day it's immigration. I think that was Friday. Sunday was something else. Monday was not my. Every day is another day. I think the people are getting fatigued by the whole thing.
Oh yeah, they definitely are. Did you see, Andrew, they had a lesbian Not My President's Day in Washington D.C. and according to the press, which was probably the first honest reporting we've heard from them in a while, only 24 people showed up.
Wait, so you had to be a lesbian to take part in this? It was lesbian.
You had to be, or you could just support them and show up, but it's crazy. Like you say, I think the fatigue has sat in. And, just as we had a guy on from Yale today, Robert Schiller, the professor that does the Case-Shiller Home Index.
Yeah.
Certainly not what you'd call a right-winger. And he's out there giving Trump full credit for the rally and saying, I don't know how anybody can dismiss it. He said they're just denying the facts if they say that it's not. And granted, not everybody's invested in the market. But if you are, certainly rolling back regulations and applying smarter tax code would be something that's a positive, not a negative.
Wait. How do we just go from talking about lesbians on President's Day to the market? Where did we make that jump? I'm confused.
Well, it was more or less because a lot of the folks, like you say, that are either in denial or they're not willing to go with any of the things that have been positive since the election are always just out there, like you say, that maybe they're losing interest. They're partially losing interest because they thought the country'd be falling apart and just the opposite's happening. So that's more or less where I'm going with that is that,
all right.
Schiller and others are not really, cheerleaders for the president, and yet they have no choice but to say, hey, a lot of what he's doing are going to help save jobs, create more wealth in America.
All right. Okay, I'll bite on that scenario and not the scenario, that theme. The VIX is the new lesbian march. Seriously, I mean,
just keeps going down. Yeah.
Well, it keeps going. Stop. That's a good one. No, but it's just like fatigue. It's right at 11.5, and they're buying some calls today. The upside, the Aprils, but I mean, you get so many up days, and then I don't know. I for some reason I'm not that worried, which makes me worried.
Well, the judge, Scott Wapner, was asking us today on the set because Kevin O'Leary, if you saw it, folks, last Friday, Kevin O'Leary and Mark Cuban had a big shouting match about Kevin was one of the guys who, like me, called that Trump was going to win. People doubted us, and I don't blame them because, all the media was out there saying just the opposite, saying there's no way that this guy's going to win and blah, blah, blah. And Mark was clearly in Hillary's camp, Mark Cuban, that is. But when it came right down to it, of course, the results are the results. And then Mark now is unhappy that apparently the president's getting a lot of credit for exactly what you and I have just described.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw that
Mm-hmm.
interview. Yeah.
Well, so the judge was asking us about that. And I said, I'll take this. If anybody wants to deny, that we're seeing, not just green shoots, and Mark was even denying animal spirits, but there's no doubt that business optimism is way up. Consumer optimism is way up. And that's another reason that you're seeing, Andrew, the size of these protests falling off, because you need things happening very badly for the president. But in fact, just the opposite's happening. The market is embracing the idea of rolling back regs and smart tax application rather than some of the ludicrous tax application that has left us, with fewer jobs in America.
Wow. What are we doing today?
Well, let me see. What was I doing today? I was trading PBI, which is Pitney Bowes. Remember when those things, Andrew, were all the rage? Every business had a Pitney Bowes machine.
I know.
And you'd literally
cousin worked for them.
It would print out stamps and or print out postage for you to put on packages and things. Remember that?
Oh yeah, man. You're really going back. I remember that Pitney Bowes.
Well, they do more than that now, and they're a software company that allows businesses to track their expenses, and they're something in the logistics chain that people have to have. And the stock is just coming off 52-week lows. It was a high of, I think, 22 or 23 bucks a year ago, and it got all the way down to 12. And here at 13, we see it making a move, looking like it wants to go through basically where it began the year, right around 15.5, 16, and perhaps even push up to the 20s. They bought long-term October of this year, so out there another 6 or 8 months. They bought longer-term calls, and they bought a bunch of them all at once.
And you're saying they're Januaries or Aprils? Oh, I see them right there.
Octobers.
Octobers. Yeah, I see them. October.
Yep,
wow.
October 15 calls.
Man, 8,000 of them. That doesn't scream unusual. Wow. That's got wise guy written all over it. 15.
Yes, it does.
Well, it's a nice play. It's 90 cents.
Yeah. By the way, also take a look at the AMD. We continue to see that. Weyerhaeuser, WY, also continue to see activity there. There's only Andrew, another week of the freebie where they get to see everything on our blog for unusual activity for free if they go over to Investitute and register.
Investitute.com. Yeah, they had a nice little chat room over there. A lot of smart guys posted back and forth over there today. And these were all in the chat room earlier, right? So you get there early. If you have this subscription, you can. Yeah,
and you can get the subscription for free for the rest of the month.
All right.
Just got to register over there. But what else, Andrew? Just real quick, 2 big stores that have earnings tomorrow. L Brands, which is Pink, Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works, all that stuff. They have earnings tomorrow. There's another stock just dollars off the 52-week low.
And their symbol is what? LB?
LB. Yep. And the other L Brands is what they call the company now, of course. And the other one is TJ Maxx.
I saw you mention
that. So anything that didn't sell for Christmas is in TJ Maxx right now.
And that's TJX.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you forget about stocks for now. How was the skiing out there in Park City?
Skiing in Utah was awesome. We had two powder days where we had more or less 5 to 6 inches at the base and maybe double that at the top. And it was great. And it's so easy to get to. That's why I've been there 3 times this year, because you can fly in Salt Lake City and within a half an hour, unless you got there right in rush hour, within a half an hour, you're in Park City, and you could be driving up to the base of the mountain and going skiing, literally within half an hour. It's
I've
amazing.
Never been there, and now that you said that, I could see that being attractive when you don't have to travel far, because I know you go to these places and it's another hour or an hour and a half or whatever. But I like that. Okay, so you're going up the West Side Highway, gonna go do something killer?
Yeah, Killer and I are speaking at we've got this show with the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME Group. And Sunday, we're both flying back out here to New York for for the Money Show. My first time back at the Money Show in 5 or 6 years.
A long time. I think the last one we did was
Killer
San
and I
Fran.
are hosting.
Oh, really? You're doing one of those things. Who are the other guests there? Didn't they used to have like that guy Louis Navalier and those folks?
Yeah, a bunch of those guys. I don't know. I'll have to look, and maybe we'll post it later in the week, Andrew. But yeah, I'll definitely be shaking hands, kissing babies, and the Merc's really promoting our new show on the web show with Killer and me, and I'm going down to the NYMEX, which the Chicago Merc owns now, the CME Group. So I'm going down there to shoot the one of our weekly videos for them.
Now, where are they doing this? Is this at the Javits Center? It's not the big enough for that.
I don't think so. In the past they had always done it at the Marriott Marquis.
Got it.
Right there at like 40
in Midtown.
Yeah, 46.
And if you're smart, they got a bathroom on the second floor that you can sneak into.
Okay.
Just letting you know, a little New York fun fact. If you're homeless and you need to shower and bathe, you can go to the second floor of the Marriott. Just don't look too out of place, and you'll be good to go. It's one of the few places. All right. Well, I'll let you go.
All right. Remember, you can subscribe through either iTunes or YouTube to the podcast. So put up some love for us, and we'll see you back here soon talking about some more trades.